From the top rope to your collection, this collecting the 1, 2, 3 presented by Cardboard Dugout. I am your host, Moon3PO, and this is my tag team partner, Bropio, coming through with a loaded episode of the collecting the 1, 2, 3. But before we get into that, Bropio, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, man. Happy freaking Chrome release week, man. We finally made it. We're here. We out here. So, yeah, I know we have a lot to cover. We got some controversial decisions made on SmackDown and that trickled into Raw. We had Stand and Deliver this past weekend. So, yeah, this is gonna probably be a pretty lengthy one. So, buckle in, people.
Yeah. Buckle in, grab your snacks, grab your water, grab whatever you got to do here because this is going to be, I would probably assume, one of our longest episodes, but it's going to be a great episode because, yes, like you mentioned here, it is officially Topps Chrome release week. Hopefully, you're listening to this episode on Wednesday morning, which Wednesday morning there are breaks available for Topps Chrome FDI, that being the first day issue. We're going to cover all that. Friday is official release week, or release day, I should say, for mega boxes and for hobby boxes. And we're going to break it all down. We're going to go over all parallels. We have an official checklist, so we're going to go over everything in the checklist, who we're buying as per usual, who we're kind of on the fence. Maybe it's a smart play, maybe not. Of course, if you know us, you guys know we love our smart little plays as far as of maybe buying a cheaper low end spot that potentially can make you back some money in the future if you're into buying and selling wrestling cards. And of course, we have our maybe who we're not necessarily buying, who we're staying away from, as Topps Chrome is going to be hopefully hitting shelves, that being your retail stores, hobby stores, and of course hitting breaks over on Fanatics Live and over on whatnot. But before we get into that, like you mentioned here as well, a very controversial weekend of wrestling that starting with on Friday. So full transparency, I did not watch Friday Night SmackDown live. I was
Ooh,
celebrating with my wife's family. We celebrated Easter a little bit early just due to the weather. A lot of kiddos, Easter egg hunting, all that kind of good stuff. So the weather wasn't very kind to us this weekend. So we decided to do it early. So did not watch Friday Night SmackDown live. Was doom scrolling Twitter, everything. I kind of calmed down. I went inside a little bit, doom scrolling Twitter, and then I see Pat McAfee on, like, he was trending. He was trending. I'm like, what the hell did he say? I know he's been talking here and there the last couple of weeks or so leading up to WrestleMania. Click on his name as far as why he's trending, and then see the eventual clip here, getting involved in this Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes feud, low blowing, kicking Cody Rhodes there in the nargin, the nuts here, as we like to say here, and
and
then
the family jewels.
and the family jewels. There you go, and then cuts a pretty, I I don't want to say gut wrenching promo, but cuts open like a pretty eye opening promo, goes into it as far as of we get full confirmation here that he's the voice, or he's been the one calling Randy Orton. Long story short here, I'm going to be paraphrasing a lot of the promo. Then, of course, I'll open up to you as per usual. It basically just says that, last week, a couple of weeks ago, he said that the business had passed them up. Randy Orton gave him a call, like, hey, like, this business didn't pass you up. It's transitioning to something that we do not like. And then there kind of starts the voices of like, yes, you need to take this from Cody. You need to be the aggressor here. Ticket sales are low. Why are they low when you got guys like Randy Orton? Why do we have matches of indie, basically calling it like an AEW fed? We got small guys who are running 30-minute Iron Man matches. Why is this all going on when we got arguably one of the GOATs, that being Randy Orton? Now, again, I didn't watch it live, so I'll kind of sit back a little bit here, and then, of course, I'll go into a little bit more because I did watch the full segment when I got home. But I'll throw it over to you, Bro Pio. What was the initial thought of watching? I'm assuming you watched it live, but what was the initial thought of seeing this unfold live?
Yes, I did watch it live. At first I couldn't tell who it was. Like I had the kiddos were just like running around the house and stuff like that, and I was watching it. I'm like, who the frick is that? Like it just like I couldn't tell who it was. And then sure enough, it was ended up being Pat McAfee, and as soon as I did, I'm like, what the hell is he doing there? And I was like, for the love of God, I was like, please do not tell me like this is the guy who's been on the phone with Randy. That just makes no sense. I was when I was talking to the wife about the prior to SmackDown starting. I was like, oh, there's rumors that they're gonna announce who the phone person is, and I had told her, I think I even tweeted it earlier this in the day too. I was like, can you imagine like if on the phone like there was nobody there and it was Randy just like listening to the voices in his head, and then on the other, you come to find out that he was like listening to old voicemails of Dusty Rhodes, and I'm like, that could have been like, you have so much, you have 20 years of history, like you could have picked anything from there, and you went with Pat McAfee. So yeah, I tweeted out, I was like, Pat McAfee question mark, like LMAO, like this is stupid. And then he starts cutting his promo, like it just made no sense. Like he was talking about how he wanted to save wrestling. And I'm like, oh god, are we running like the John Cena story again, where John Cena wanted to ruin wrestling when he was heel? Like, are we just running that back? But now Pat wants to save wrestling. Um, Goes into like how back in the Attitude Era and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, for like Randy was never even in the Attitude Era. Like he's the Ruthless Aggression Era. So I don't know why you're bringing up the Attitude Era. Yeah, just nothing just made sense. Like it was just very random. Not needed. It was very unnecessary. Yeah, and then after throughout the night you get rumblings like on I think it was maybe the day after. You start hearing rumors that this came from like up TKO, which is I think that Ari Emanuel, the
Ari
one of
Emanuel.
the
Yeah.
at TKO, that I guess it was his idea to input McAfee, and his whole reasoning, from what I heard, was that like Pat can promote WrestleMania on his show. It's going to get more eyes on the product, and I'm like, dude, like nobody is going to be 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. Watch Pat McAfee and be like, you know, that was so great. I'm gonna go buy tickets now to WrestleMania. Like, there's nobody. I promise you, dude. And if you are one of those people, I want to know what is about that Pat McAfee promo that was like, you know what? I'm sold on WrestleMania. Let's go to Vegas. Um, yeah, it was just, it made no sense, unnecessary. And then of course you hear the Cody comes out later that night, um, and cuts a promo that apparently was us not I think planned, from what I heard, that I guess Triple H and creative just told Cody, hey, go out there and shoot a promo, which I think, I'm assuming is probably what happened again today with CM Punk. We got another little pipe bomb, and we'll probably get to that here in a little bit. But yeah, not a fan of it. It just was, it didn't need this. I don't know. Like if the whole sole reason was to input him to increase ticket sales, I mean, CM Punk told you what to do if you want to increase those ticket sales. Um, yeah, just not a fan of it. It was just highly unnecessary and very frustrating, because when it happened, you just see like what the hell are they doing with creative? I'm like, did they not just like learn their lesson from Tryout last year? Like it just did not work. I know Pat McAfee has more ties to the WWE because he's like on the commentator side and all that stuff, but um, yeah, it was not well perceived. I don't think nobody was happy. I've yet to see one happy comment about that segment.
Yeah, I would agree with everything that you just said, and it's hard to disagree with anything that's been said here, like between obviously between you and I and what's on the internet, because when I got home and watched the segment, I was like, okay, let me watch like what he actually said. I was just seeing like quotes and snippets and stuff like that, so they are, let me see what he actually said, and like I thought the promo was strong. Like he cut like a pretty strong promo, but it was very double sided, like you mentioned here. There's there's talking about Randy Orton and then kind of going against like what TKO is doing. And, like it was kind of going like double-edged
That
sword in
was
a
a
way.
weird thing
Cause
too.
like
Yeah.
because like him talking about mentioning ticket sales like has nothing to do with Randy Orton. It has nothing to do with Cody Rhodes like being champion. Like that's not even the argument there. The reason why tickets are available right now, the reason why they were doing buy one get one 25% off a couple of weeks ago. It was no fees on Friday, last Friday. The reason why they do that because they're so freaking high, and the creative and the build has just been so lackluster. And that's for someone going to WrestleMania. I'll be at night one, and this build has just been so lackluster. I'm personally excited for it just because this is my first ever
Yeah.
Mania. I don't know what the future holds, with the whole Saudi Arabia thing, all that. So maybe it was a FOMO that played into me getting tickets, whoever, whatever may have happened there probably was, but, and also helps that we're a gift. But yeah, it was just like, it was so just double-edged sword, in my opinion. It didn't make a lot of sense. And the the fact that creative needed to bring in Pat McAfee for this, like, again, makes no sense whatsoever. Your story is literally right there. Like you just mentioned, there's 20 years of history between these two.
Yeah.
That was his mentor. You really couldn't like play into that. Like how dumb do you have to be? And
Well,
it
that's the thing. I
really
think too. I think that's the whole. I think that's the issue. I don't think it was a creative thing from what I've read. Like TKO and the board kind of like inputted this into creative. Like, hey, we need to throw Pat into this thing, and they kind of just Triple H like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to do it, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. So I think that's where the issues are arriving from. I mean, obviously, creative has their own other problems with the whole other stuff, but I think when it comes specifically to that, I think that was problem. Like they didn't need to do that, and I also don't think like these TKO board members shouldn't be sticking their nose where it don't belong. Because I don't think they know a clue about like I don't even know if they know the history of like Randy and Cody. Like literally the day after, like they was today or the day before, like WWE on Instagram posted when Randy RKO Dusty in the middle of the ring, and you can see Cody frustrated with Teddy seeing them. Like you can't be that tone deaf. Like you post that, and you have to have McAfee in there. It's just there's a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah, and even today too, they posted a video of I think it's a WrestleMania match, if I'm not mistaken, where Randy punts Cody. So like there's that, and then even going before that, like when they first met, when they first interacted, it's them backstage, and Dusty's introducing Cody to him, and
Yeah,
he's like
yeah,
legend
yeah.
killer, and then he slaps Dusty, and which then leads to their match, in which Cody Rhodes loses his debut match on Raw to Randy Orton. But like like your story's right there, and it even stems before uh Pat McAfee. Like the fact that Jelly Roll was involved in this too, like Jelly Roll was like Jelly Roll was like the glue, or the jelly, I guess, in between the both of them. Like, hey, like you can mend fences between both of them. Like the fact that he had to play a vocal point into this as well is diabolical. So
Yeah.
there's just so many things wrong with this, and like you killed this feud. Like I don't care. I'm still gonna be excited for the match. Obviously, it's the first time again, like we've echoed, first time we're seeing this match in years. So I'm still personally excited for the match. It's just how we're getting there and how we got there. It's just so bad. And I think, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Ari Emanuel is also the one that echoed to bring in Travis Scott into this
Yeah.
last year. So, like, he saw how that went. Granted, yes, Pat McAfee, like you mentioned there, has had his run-ins with WWE. He's been involved a little bit more, has had his matches with Adam Cole, has had good matches. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's not one of those celebrities that just comes in and, does whatever, or it's like a bad match. Like, he's had good matches. But is he really the vocal point? Like, I'm pretty sure and again, this has always been a thing with WWE. What gets people talking? Like, what we need to create a viral moment. We need to have people talking about this for days, weeks leading up to an event. And I think there's good and bad. This is not one of them. This is not good at all. So, and yeah, like you mentioned, Cody comes in and has that promo at the end of SmackDown, after Kit Wilson and The Miz had a tag team match against R-Truth and Damian Priest.
See, for a second,
That was
for a second, I was so scared that actually like Kit and the Miz were gonna win, and it feels so wrong, so dirty to see Kit win the belt without Elton. I was like, please, for the love of God. But good old Danhausen came in and dude, people hated that on the internet. Dude, I loved it. I was dying at the referee.
Dude, I loved it. It was so funny. Like, as serious as we were just talking about, the whole shit show that we're seeing between, Randy, Cody, and Pat and all that. Like, to have like a good comedic relief, that being Danhausen and the whole cursing thing, like that was hilarious. And even the video they posted after SmackDown went off air, when he goes back and cures the ref, and he's like, "Oh, that's a one-time thing. Like, that's for free. After that, it's like it's no more." So
I didn't see that. I know they posted a video of him today. I guess at the headquarters.
Yeah,
I haven't seen one either. So
he was at the. Yeah, I'll send it to you after. Yeah, he was at the headquarters today. That's where, if you were you watching Netflix today with the VPN?
No, not today. Which I wish I
not
should have,
today.
because goddamn, today was commercial heavy.
Yeah, during the
bad.
commercial break, he brought out the Slammy award that he took from the headquarters, that he supposedly said that he won and got voted for. So for an award that we don't know, he he just took the slammy and then went away with it. But going back to this whole Pat McAfee thing, absolutely terrible. Obviously, yes, there is a pipe bomb from our good old the GOAT himself, CM Punk, that we'll get into the next couple of minutes here. That kind of I don't want to say tied everything together, but mentioned that there's obviously that this is not trending well with, I think, all the superstars, and even sending on online too. Like, it's been heavily advocated from superstars, subtweeting, as we used to always say back in the day, where you're talking about something but not really talking about something, posting gifs, pictures. I know Ricky Saints had a good one today of the Big E eating popcorn after the CM Punk pipe bomb. So there's been a lot of subtweeting from the WWE superstars. So it's always good to see that it's not just us, it's not just the internet, the IWC, as Pat was saying. Like, it is a real life thing, and we're obviously seeing it backstage as well. But before we get into Monday Night Raw here, we did have NXT Stand and Deliver. As much as we love NXT, and I feel like we should start bringing it more to the pod. Like, as much as we love NXT, we watch NXT and we prospect, we should definitely bring more. I thought about it because you posted it on your Instagram story as far as predictions. Like, we should definitely bring it more. I don't know why I never thought to my head like we should do it. I guess maybe because I feel like not a lot of people watch NXT, which, if you're not watching NXT, what the hell are you doing? But if you guys know anything about us, like, we love our prospect. We just love watching up and comers that are coming in. And obviously NXT is different and very not heavy TKO touchy, or things like that, as far as of the creative standpoint. You can definitely tell, obviously, it being ran by the good old man himself, HBK Shawn Michaels. So you can definitely see the difference in product and style and things like that. So if you're not watching NXT, highly recommend that you do. But we definitely want to talk about it here because obviously we got together for Stand Deliver here. Very fun card. I even put out a tweet here before the card went live that the NXT Stand Deliver and the women's division was going to save me from the absolute shit show that we got the night before, and it definitely did that. Very, very good show. I know last year it was on during WrestleMania weekend, which I'm a little disappointed that it wasn't on WrestleMania weekend. I think a lot more eyeballs probably would have been on it as far as that, but still, overall, really solid card here. Even the first match here, the opening tag team match between Hank and Tank, Charlotte Hill, EK Prosper. That was the first time that I've actually sat down and watched them. That dude can move. And of course, Ren Sinclair defeating the Birthright. So even that was a fun match here. We got a new NXT Women's Champion, that being Lola Vice. Obviously, we'll talk about JC Jane, her cards moving forward here. It seems like JC Jane is potentially on the way up. We made a funny comment when she got that famous introduction. Like, she's dropping the title. Like, we knew right away. we knew right away that she was dropping that title. We didn't know to who. We were hoping, obviously, Kendall Gray, but obviously did not happen. But happy for Lola Vice there. Third match here, we got the Vanity Project, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, which I know you're a big fan of those guys defeating the Los Americanos.
So unrelated, I don't want to jump ahead, but after that match, I saw a lot of people on Twitter starting to put a little bit into their stock. So
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I've been in the camp. Yeah. I've been in the camp of and you obviously you've heard me talk about on the podcast. There's just something about them where not that I don't necessarily like them. I think it's just their look. Like, they look like they're super young. They're in their early 20s. Not saying I'm unk status or anything, but I'm in the middle of my 20s. They're 20. They look like people who if I'm doing scrolling TikTok during COVID, they look like people that'll be doing TikTok dance. That's literally what they look like. But those dudes, they can absolutely move. It's Brad Baylor. I think that's the star of the group, even though Jackson Drake can sell any of them. I think Brad Baylor is the guy that I think everybody kind of has their eyeballs a little bit, even calling him the evil Matt Damon. So I think he's the one, which I've never heard that before. That was pretty funny. Maybe I just haven't heard that. Maybe because I just zone out when I watch them on NXT. But there's stuff there, and even the stuff that they do with jumping a little bit ahead here, the stuff that they do backstage with Blake Monroe, and potentially are going to bring on screen with Blake Monroe. That's going to be something very interesting to watch. We then had Sol Ruka defeating Zarya. Miles Bourne defeated Johnny Wrestling. We got Tina Paxley getting back her belt and defeating Blake Monroe. And then, of course, we got Tony D'Angelo defeating Joe Hendry, Ricky Satan, Ethan Page in the Fatal 4-Way, becoming the new NXT champion and becoming a Grand Slam champion. I believe it's a new addition of the Grand Slam because he's now the North American champion, tag team champion, American Heritage Cup winner, and now the NXT Men's champion. But overall, Very solid card. I enjoyed it very much from start to finish. I'll throw it over to you, bro. Pio. What did you think about the card? And was there a match in particular, that you watched? Like, that was the show stealer of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I think from to finish, it was really, really solid. Like all the storylines, I think like obviously the one storyline I think that was done really, really well was between Solruka and Zarya. I think that I honestly think Zarya probably should have been the one to go over it. Zarya's stock is has taken a couple of blows because she just can't seem to get the big dub. Um, so had she maybe gone and beat Soul, I think it probably would have done more for Zarya than winning does, if that makes sense. Because I don't really think Soul needed to get the dub. Because now it seems like she's just kind of moving on from this and going straight to the NXT title hunt, and kind of just like out there in limbo. Like so, that'd be my biggest complaint probably. Also, I don't know, was it just me or was the crowd kind of like ass? Like they really didn't like sound loud. Like there was times where it felt very, very quiet.
Yeah.
So that my complaint is the crowd didn't seem really into it. And also too, like Stand and Deliver is basically like NXT's WrestleMania. And I think from like a production standpoint, it didn't feel that way. Like it just like looked very basic, little stage, and I just don't know if that's fault for the wherever they had it at or and stuff like that. Because like you said, it's just the first time where it's not a part of WrestleMania weekend. Like it used to be where before we had two nights, it would be Saturday night and the rest of them Sunday. Then last year, or maybe the year before too, it was on early Saturday. So you would kick off like your WrestleMania weekend with NXT like around 11, 12, and then WrestleMania would start like around 3 or 4. So yeah, it just kind of didn't. It felt like just like a normal PLE. It didn't feel like NXT's biggest night of the year. It just kind of just felt bland in that point. So those are probably my biggest 3 gripes. For the matches, I mean, I enjoyed them all. Like they were all pretty good, and it kind of seems like now we're kind of moving into a newer era. I want to say of NXT. Kind of like I don't see Joe Hendry there longer in NXT.
Yeah.
Now that Tony D's taken over, I know we're gonna probably talk about her too, but CJ obviously dropping the title. Kind of seems like she's kind of on the way out. I don't know if you saw that little video too on Twitter where she's laying on the mat. And she gives like a little nod to Lola, and then she just like rolls out of the ring. So yeah, it kind of seems like there's going to be a shift in some stuff. I mean, but other than that, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a really good card.
As we talk about JC Jane, are you worried about Fallon and Laney? It seems like they have. I don't know. I would love to see them as a group, but we kind of talked about
Yeah.
how Laney Reed hasn't been wrestling for more than like longer than a year or 2 years. Fallon Henley has been down in NXT for a long time. She's been down, I believe, since NXT 2.0. So she's had a lot of iterations
Yeah,
of her character.
I think I don't know if she's just as long as JC, because JC's been there for like 5 years
Jason's
already.
been down there for a hot minute. I think that's why
Yeah.
the crowd and like I think the reception she gets online is like how much work that she's put into it. I know there's appreciation post out, like a whole appreciation thread of JC Jane because she was like in a group and like down at NXT 2.0 where she wasn't the best in the ring. Her in-ring work wasn't that good. Her promo ability work wasn't that good, and she's blossomed into, I believe, one of, and if not already, top future women stars in and NXT and in WWE in the future moving forward. So it worries me a little bit if they bring them up as a group or if they decide to leave, Fallon and Laney down there in NXT, okay, kind of, work on your own things or do whatever you got to do down there. And if we kind of see JC Jane as a star, because obviously we kind of talked about how the women's division, the tag team kind of needs I still think it needs a little bit of help, especially if, Charlotte Flair and Alexa. I don't know how long that's going to go. Obviously you have the Kabuki Warriors. You have this weird tag team of BFAB and Michin now, and Jade Cargo, who knows how long that's going to last. Rio is no longer a thing. So I personally would love to see him as a group, but it just worries me a little bit if they only decide to bring up JC Jane and not Laney and Fallon. I know that's been a little bit of the conversation recently.
Yeah, I was always on the like they have to all go up together kind of thing. But I don't know if they'd want to like rush, like especially like Laney Reed. And I don't. They probably want to leave her behind in a sense. Uh, I know there's like, I don't know if they do like a turn on JC kind of angle, because I know there's kind of like you can see the tension between her and Fallon. And then you have that whole interesting promos with Izzy Dame where she was talking to JC saying like she'll take what she wants. Thing. So is it kind of just like she's gonna take over for JC and they're gonna kick JC out, and now it's Fatal Influence is gonna be run by Izzy and Fallon and Laney Reed. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think it's time for to basically finally get that call up to the main roster. Where she fits in, and I don't know. I would say SmackDown kind of needs help because BFAB and Mission just ain't working for me. But they get a lot of slander on this damn pod, and it's not intentional. But yeah, man, it's just that they're not very believable heels and stuff like that. Because that's a story for another day. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I had originally thought the plan, or I thought maybe like if I was booking this stuff, I had thought Lola was due for a call up already. So I thought maybe that's why I thought Kendall Gray was going to be the one to come out victorious out of this, and then you can then call up. You can then call up Kendall and Lola at the same time. Obviously WWE likes to keep their couples together. Obviously, it's well known that Damian Priest and Lola Vice are a couple. So move her to SmackDown, maybe throw JC to Raw. Whatever you want to do with that, but that was the thought process here that I had in my head as far as of that. But yeah, overall, really, really solid card here. I'm excited to see where it goes moving forward. Like you mentioned, there kind of, I would say the show stealer for me was the Vanity Project. They kind of, I don't want to say kind of, but I always knew the in-ring work was there, but it's something specifically about that one there that was like, all right, like these guys can move. They're a very talented group. Again, I think Brad Baylor is the star of the group. I'm not saying the other two are, no Joe Schmoes or anything. They're good in-ring workers as well. But I think it's the promo work that they do. Obviously, they're really believable in their characters-esque. So yeah, again, kind of playing into the Blake Monroe stuff. I'm excited to see where that goes, because obviously after Blake Monroe lost, Tatum went to go celebrate with Shiloh and those guys. With Shiloh Hill and Tatum Paxton. I love that group, that combination together, that weird kind of dark. I don't want to say dark, but kind of it's like weird, awkward. They do weird things, laugh at weird things. Like I think the part that sold me the most on Shiloh was I think it was 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you watched like about 2 or 3 weeks ago. She was looking for Izzy. Tatum Paxton was looking for Izzy. She didn't know where he didn't know where they were at. And then fucking Shiloh took off the tires off the whole NXT parking lot.
Yeah.
So, and then Robert says like, "What the hell did you do?" He's like, "I didn't know what car there was. So I took off all the tires." Like nobody was leaving. So I was like, okay, like I can buy into that group there a little bit. So interesting to see what they do with that. If there's a continuing story, we'll obviously find out tomorrow. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you would have known what they do yesterday, but we'll be finding out tomorrow live from I think they're back at Full they're back over in the normal Florida. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. But yeah, that was NXT Stand Deliver again. Hopefully, not hopefully, moving forward, we definitely will be doing more NXT stuff again. I think that's like the most programming like I can actually like watch and enjoy. Raw obviously has its hit and misses. Not just, this episode today was not a hit, was not a miss. It was definitely a hit. But Raw has its hit and misses. SmackDown to me is always a fucking miss in my opinion these days. So I think NXT is like the one program where I could actually watch and actually enjoy. So yeah, we'll definitely be bringing in more to the podcast. Obviously, that's who we like to buy and look at as well. So definitely more PLE predictions here coming in from NXT. But now let's head into Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw opens up in Houston. I totally forgot they were in Houston, Texas. I was doom scrolling Instagram today too. I was like, oh shit, I forgot they were in Houston today. Kicks off with CM Punk, which this is probably like an off tangent conversation. Did you like the CM Punk shirt today? I liked it better than ours.
Yeah, it was it was an orange.
They're Astro colors. Yeah, they're Astro colors. I don't get why ours. I don't get ours. Ours wasn't even like silver or like black. Like it was like a navy.
It was blue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't buy it, so I don't really.
Oh,
I think those kind of shirts are kind of tacky. Yeah, I don't know.
I specifically didn't buy it for that reason. Like if it was like a Spurs color, like a Spurs like neutral colors, like the silver, the black, like I would have bought it. But the San Antonio was like a navy blue. The lightning bolt was a navy blue. The one that he wore today, like the lightning bolt was orange. Houston had orange on the back and the blue was like the Astro blue. So I was like, man, I was talking to Mrs. Moon about it. I was like, man, like that shirt was way better than the one that we had here. If I was an Astros fan or like was from the Houston area, that's definitely a cop for sure. But it
Yeah.
starts off there with CM Punk cutting a pipe bomb 2.0, I would say, because he did not hold back one bit, and he was talking about everything and everyone. The promo started off calm, in the ring, sitting crisscross, talking about the nature of the business what it is now, and how some of the older vets how they would react to what we're seeing now, Terry Funk, guys like that. And then heats up a little bit when he goes outside, then stands up on the announcer table and then calls out everything about Roman Reigns, talking about his main event, his failure of his first 8 main events here, and if he was anybody else, they would have been fired because he's a nepo baby. His cousin The Rock's on the TKO board, like he's in the position because of that. Talking about his fake teeth, him being plastic, cutting even further ties when he wasn't even there, cutting further ties about Roman Reigns and the dog food with Vince, mentioning the old man, obviously that being Vince McMahon. If you guys are familiar with Roman Reigns, you would know how much love and admiration that Vince McMahon had for Roman Reigns and why he was being pushed the way he was before, when he was the big dog. Then talking about, then kind of goes off and then talks about how everything in that regards there, how, if he had a bomb to burn down the bridge, because he will still swim because he knows how to fucking swim, talking about all that, and then takes off the cover of the microphone. As like when CM Punk does that, that's when you're going to get a true CM Punk pipe bomb, and then proceeds to talk about Pat McAfee, which was nowhere in the conversation previously in the promo, but then talks about Pat McAfee. Actually, didn't even call him Pat McAfee. He calls him Pat Mag. I don't know if you caught that there. He calls him Pat McAfee. Obviously, if you know, kind of ties into that a little bit, and then he proceeds to talk about how can you talk about selling tickets and being the one to bring back professional wrestling when you kick the football for a living, and then if you want to talk about ticket prices, things like that, call your agent here and tell them to lower ticket prices. And so everybody in the arena, the one sitting up there, which that was me 2 weeks ago, can go to WrestleMania and watch. Everybody can go and watch him kick Roman Reigns' ass, which I'm assuming, which will be confirmed by tomorrow morning, will be night 2 of the main event of WrestleMania. But yeah, hell of a freaking promo, man. I got goosebumps watching that promo. Arguably one of his best promos since he's been back in WWE. I would, maybe it's just a shock value factor, I would say that's maybe even a top 5 CM Punk promo of all time. If you want to know how to sell tickets and get hype up a main event, that's exactly how you do it. Now am I bringing in a fucking celebrity like Pat McAfee and thinking that's going to sell tickets? If you want to know how to sell tickets and move a main event, move a pay-per-view, that is arguably how you do it. And I know people have been talking about this feud, like how do we go from burying your dad in the grave, next to your dad in the grave, to then kind of talking that you're old. And so I know that was kind of been hit and miss between some people, but I feel like this promo right here has officially solidified this main event here, and I think it has finally brought the WrestleMania hype that we've been looking for.
Yeah, I mean, Raw started off hot. I don't know if you caught it too, like when CM Punk was doing the walk-in, like even Michael Cole was like, "Oh, we're gonna hear from CM Punk later on tonight." Then you kind of see like he's walking and he's going through Gorilla, and then he's kind of like, "Oh, wait, I think we're gonna hear from it now." And then so, I don't know. I'm wondering if this is also just like Triple H and maybe creative, just being like, "Hey, just go out there and shoot on everyone. Like, talk your smack and stuff like that." But yeah, man, this is why CM Punk is the fucking GOAT. Like, he's the voice of the voiceless. Like, he's filling out words that we've been preaching for a while now, that these tickets are just way too damn expensive, and TKO is just penny pinching all of us out here. Like, I don't think it was a smart move to rerun WrestleMania back in Vegas again for obvious reasons. It's just too expensive, and but I mean, it is what it is. And so hopefully, I don't know. I really hope. Like, I think if there's people you want to go out and to send out there and to talk smack about TKO and the board. Like you're gonna send Cody, you're gonna send CM Punk. Like those guys are like, to me, they're untouchable. You're not gonna get rid of them. You're not gonna fire them. Cody even said on Friday, he thought you can fire me, but look how that worked out for you last time. Stuff like that. Same thing for Punk. Like you're not gonna like get rid of him. It's just not. It's not reasonable, or it doesn't make sense to do it. So, yeah, if you're gonna send someone out there to go crash, you're gonna send those two guys, and that's what they did. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I was dying when he mentioned the big dog thing. I was just like, oh, I think even the crowd even reacted, and that's how like you that's how you can tell like a good promo from like a bad promo. Like the what chants are obviously will have our beefs with the what chants and how annoying they are. But if you listen at the beginning when they were doing the what, they were chanting the OTC. Like at the end of it, like they're like they stopped chanting the what's. Like that's how you know you got them. And so, like another good example is if you want to go back in time a little bit, like when Solo was cutting that promo on the Wyatt Six and Uncle Howdy, like they were chanting what the whole time. But then when he got into it, like started mentioning Bray and stuff like that, like what chants just stopped. Like that's when you know you got the crowd. And I mean that's you got that promo. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, I put out the instant tweet here, like that's my freaking goat. Yeah, if you don't like CM Punk, I feel like you can still respect the work of CM Punk. Obviously, people don't like CM Punk for multiple reasons, and maybe it's valid. Maybe it's valid, not valid. Obviously, for me, and for you as well, it's never going to be valid. There's been a CM Punk pro podcast since day one. We're never going to talk bad about CM Punk. So when you finally feel like the energy and the connection to him as far as why you like a certain superstar, once he echoes out what you've been, what we talk about on the podcast, what we talk about on our tweets, and what I talk about in videos, once he says the same words that you're saying on obviously on a much bigger and larger scale, like that's the connection that you feel with that superstar, and that's the connection that you and I have always had with CM Punk. So the fact that he echoed everything that we've been saying and thinking, 100%, with a top tier promo, and it seems like there's been no bad things said about that promo whatsoever online. Like I literally have gone back and watched it like 2 times before we went live. It was absolutely a phenomenal promo, and I think one part I failed to mention is obviously talking about Jimmy Fallon as well, because Roman Reigns was on Jimmy Fallon last week.
Oh yeah, he was.
Like, yeah. There's a reason why they send you to go do all this stupid, company gimmicky stuff, is because like you're plastic, you're fake. You say all the company words, if you want to say, like myself and like you mentioned there, Cody, are the ones that are not going to be quiet. We're going to say what's wrong with everything that's going on right now, and even if it gets me in trouble or said whatever, like he's untouchable. And he even mentioned that too, like the old man, as he was saying, was treating me like a dog. He's like, I had F you money and got up and left. Like you stayed here for plus years, and it's a main event WrestleMania, which absolutely all of them were trash. Which, I mean, he's not wrong. If you go back and watch all the other Roman Reigns WrestleMania events before, the Tribal Chief, they are arguably pretty bad. The Undertakers, the Brock Lesnar's, the Triple H's, they are arguably they are arguably pretty bad.
You got the triple threat with Edge and Bryan.
Yeah.
Down one. Who else did he have? I can't remember. I feel like that's it, right? Like it's been Brock, the Undertaker. Yeah, he had Brock, the triple threat.
Yeah, he had Brock twice, I think. And then he had Triple H. Then he had Taker. And then he had the triple threat. He's supposed to have, it was originally supposed to, then he was gonna have Goldberg, but that got scrapped. And then yeah. And then he had Cody twice, and then he had the triple threat last year.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there I don't think there's no lies detected in that in that promo whatsoever. Yeah, overall, and again, that you mentioned that once you saw a promo like that, you're in for a very good episode of Monday Night Raw, which today was a very good episode of Monday Night Raw. Obviously the main event or that ending sequence was Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. Once they announced that the contract signing, I'm like, there's no fucking way that's gonna be a contract signing. That's gonna end in a fucking brawl.
I'm not a big Brock fan. I'm just like I've been over him like for like years now. Like I was just tired of his whole like squash matches and tired of the just coming in, grabbing the belt, disappearing for months and stuff like that. Like I was just over his whole spiel. Like I was just like I'm done with it. But I can honestly say I think this is the first time in a very very long time that I'm excited for a Brock Lesnar match. This thing
Agree.
with Oba, it's just God, man. Like, even like today, like with Oba, yeah, just Oba was mocking his little jump and stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, this one I'm actually excited for. I really do hope though that they give them the time that they need because I don't think this should be like a under 10-minute match. Like I think I need them to like duke it out a bit. So that's my only fear is that they're gonna not give him enough time, but I don't know.
Is it a hot take to say that's maybe I'm being biased and maybe because I'm being a hypocrite? But is
Or
it
you're gonna have
crazy
him
to
get
say that
squashed.
no, that this match itself was a night one main event? Obviously, the Randy Orton Cody has been a fucking. We just talked about it previously, like for 20 minutes, how bad that build has been, which it shouldn't have been. You can make a strong case for Liv and Stephanie, which that was some crazy shit that we saw today too. We can talk about that too. But
Yeah, I'll get there in a little bit.
is it crazy to say that Oba and Brock can main event night one? And maybe that's just me just being a selfish big bastard because I'm gonna be there live.
I mean, I wouldn't.
And you also know it's very exciting when Mrs. Moon is excited for a match. I was telling her before we
Yeah.
went live, like, oh yeah, or earlier in the day, like, oh yeah, they're gonna announce our matches tomorrow morning. I was like, maybe we'll get AJ Lee and Becky, and then like, I'm like hoping that we get Oba
I
and Braun.
think
And
for
she's like, oh yeah,
sure. I
like
think
that would
for
be
sure you
a
should get
fun
AJ
match.
Becky. I think for sure you should get AJ. I think AJ Becky for sure should be night one because I like there's no way CM Punk and Roman are not headlining night two. So I think they don't probably want like husband and wife busy on their on this night kind of
Yeah,
feel like what I mean. So, um, but yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about putting the rocket on Oba and saying like this is what we believe in him, I mean, why not have him main event his WrestleMania debut? Can you imagine what that patch would do, knowing that that was his first WrestleMania? He main evented and he has that WrestleMania patch. Like, can you imagine how much money that would do if and
I
when
didn't even
they
think
make
about
it and
that.
get pulled? Yeah,
I didn't even
that'd
think
be
about that.
true. WrestleMania debut and he main evented. That would be crazy because you can honestly like pinpoint where that patch came from. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not the
Yeah,
craziest idea I've heard.
I didn't even think about that. That's yeah. Oh man, now I'm excited even more now. Fuck it, book it for main
Yeah.
event. It's not even a hot take anymore. Book it for book it for the main event.
Okay. I mean, the way they've been treating it, you would think it could main event.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's open. It opened up our Monday Night Raw when we went. It opened up the other night as well. It main evented today's main event of Raw. So obviously, you
Yeah.
can tell there's a lot of stock into it. So I don't think it's crazy to say like if that's a night one main event. Again, talking about it here, we talked about how horrible this Cody and Randy has gone. And do you really want to end night one on that note with who's involved? Like I don't think TKO is stupid, but I don't think TKO could be that stupid. I don't know how much input they have into actually creating the card itself, but I don't think creative can be. I don't
I
know what
mean,
that looks like,
they're
but
inputting people into storylines, so who's not to say they could
yeah,
have a little bit of say
yeah,
into who's laying the card. So,
yeah. So
and
I
who's
was like,
announcing the match?
maybe
Is it Triple H on ESPN announcing the matches? Or are they just
I
announcing it?
don't know. I think it's on the Get
Uh,
Up. I don't know.
yeah,
That'll be
I don't know what that
that'll be
is.
the first time I actually watch like ESPN like live. I don't even watch cable in ESPN anymore.
Yeah.
But that would be like the first time that I actually I want to see what matches are going to be on my card. It would be before I head into the good old 9 to 5. So time will tell with
So is
that because
this so
obviously
what the matches being now announced for what night is this a final card then? Like, are we done?
I would assume so. Like I would assume after Friday we'll probably get like the final because like we had Rey Mysterio being announced for the IC the
That
ladder
made no
match here.
fucking sense.
I saw a funny tweet as well. Rey Mysterio went from being retired, having a retirement match against Gunther to being entered into the IC ladder match.
I know. I thought the whole thing of it, like them not running Gunther Ray was the fact that he was hurt, and they're gonna put him in that goddamn ladder match. Like that made no sense. Unless he's gonna get taken out. I know there was like rumblings that Dom was gonna take care of his deadbeat
Yeah.
dad. So I don't know if that's signaling he's gonna somewhat mess him up. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That made no sense either.
Yeah, so I would assume after tomorrow, probably after Friday, we will have like our official like confirmation of the card. I don't think you're gonna be adding anything the Monday before or the Monday of the week
Yeah.
uh of WrestleMania. So I would say, probably assuming at the end of the week next week, we'll have our WrestleMania prediction pod there so we can kind of get that out to you before I head into Mania. Some other things here that came away from Monday Night Raw, the teasing. You mentioned there the Dirty Dom there, the teasing of the Demon Finn Balor
The
coming
demon,
back.
demon Finn
That's gonna
Balor's
be
back.
freaking insane. We haven't seen Finn Balor since he lost the Edge at the Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania
39. Yeah, it was the
39, if I'm
Hollywood
not
one.
mistaken. So,
Yep.
which that was a fucking, I don't know why he lost that match. I know everybody always talks about Edge and Cope and his and potentially his booking. Every time I see it, every time I see somebody always mentions they put that freaking TNA Hulk Hogan video package, which he has a freaking documentary coming out, which that's gonna be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, we
I
got a
know I
Shawn
think it's
Michaels one coming out too. What, next week on Peacock?
on
Which is
the
not,
13th.
I don't know why is it coming on Peacock. Like I thought Peacock like dissolved all of this WWE stuff. So I mean, I don't know anymore. Who
Yeah, it
knows?
makes no sense because the HBK is on Peacock and then Hulk Hogan's on Netflix. So it makes no
Yeah.
sense whatsoever. So yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, that's gonna be kind of interesting to see. Of
Hey,
course, the
so
one little
I'm curious to see because they obviously you see a clip of it of his last appearance when he got booed. Like it's gonna be pretty interesting to see that. I wonder if like if they ask him about it. 'Cause I'm pretty sure they had like I think Jimmy Hart said he was upset about it. Well, I don't
yeah
know what you expected, dude. Like these the
the
fans that are there are not the same people from like the 80s that were cheering on Hogan. Like, like it's not the same crowd, my friend.
and of course not to get very political, like you're in a very blue state where his
Yeah,
political views
that's
have been very very expressed. So you
yep.
kind of you can put two together, and obviously his past comments as well don't really help that as well. The clip that I was gonna reference here, of course, the one clip they show of him is freaking Bret Hart. It's calling he's like you. The one little snip is like calling him a liar. I was like, dude, like that man does not hold back on anything there. So the fact that the one little clip they show of Bret Hart, it's referencing him being a liar. I thought that part was
Yeah.
was pretty funny.
Bret
I
Hart,
know we kind of briefly
the biggest hater in the world, man. Bret Hart. Jesus.
if you mention Goldberg or Hulk Hogan, you're gonna get you're about to get a freaking heater coming out from him as far as that.
Yeah.
I know we briefly kind of talked about it too. The Sammy Kerr and Liv Morgan, which I will tip my cap out to you, Bro Pro. There, you brought up a very interesting point last episode, talking about Roxanne Perez, how Finn was the one that brought her in, and that eventually came into play into today's episode of Monday Night Raw, where
Dude,
before
that shot like it
that
fucking
shot was
hurt.
fucking bad. It
I've
was
seen that clip so
quiet.
many times though. Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
scene was like quiet. Like there, for whatever reason, was like there was nothing going on backstage. It seemed like it was just really, really quiet. So when Stephanie came in, like hit her, you can hear
I
their
heard
heads
the
literally
thud.
bun, and
Yeah.
you can tell Roxanne like took back because she rolled all the way to the back. Like obviously she
Yeah.
wasn't gonna stay in that shot, but you could tell she rolled to the back and just had her like her head down because yeah, that shot looked bad and you can hear it. And obviously the TV shot as well adds it to a little bit more. So that feud has been going on there. They've been having some like real. I'm curious how that match is gonna go because they've been having some real like nasty like shots between. I don't think they're like
Yeah.
real heat stuff, but like Liv has had her moments where she kind of kicks her. I think there was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I think she was wearing like real thick heels and she kicks the shit out of her and she's like stepping on her.
Oh yeah. And
So
then there was like
they've
4
had
weeks ago when Stephanie dropped her in Gorilla, like that kind of like affected
yeah.
her too. Yeah.
Yeah, they've had some real like intense moments. So I'm curious to see how that match is gonna go. What is it with these women matches when it gets to Mania where like it just starts getting real stiff and like real like heat heavy? Like obviously last year we had the whole Charlotte and Tiffy
Yeah.
thing.
Charlotte and
This,
Tiff. Yeah. Yeah.
this year we have both of them. You could say have been like that. Yeah, the Stephanie and Liv, like we just talked about here, Jade and Rhea, which I finally felt today. We finally got to like another level of the Jade and Rhea feud with B Fab and
Rhea had to
Michin
be
holding
dying,
her in
dude.
the Kindle stick.
Chevy died when she had EO. She looked like it looked like EO had died or something.
Like I kept thinking about the SpongeBob meme where SpongeBob
Yeah,
fakes
yeah.
fakes getting why ha, ha, ha.
Why?
That's like that's the exact thing that I thought about.
Oh,
Um, but
poor
finally
EO,
getting
man. She
that,
got
yeah,
sacrificed
yeah,
to Jade.
yeah, poor EO there. But I finally feel like that feud has finally started to kick it up a notch a little bit. Obviously, we talked about last episode how their promo was not the best so far, and that build and the promo has not been very up to par as far as I would say that for all the talent that is involved there. But I finally felt like that finally kind of did something there a little bit, kind of reminiscent to the Gunther and Jay and Jimmy what we saw last year. It was the argument last year that kind of wasn't really going anywhere, and then when Jay got handcuffed
Oh
and
yeah,
Gunther
yeah.
choked them out, so I finally got there. Mentioning of Gunther, still it seems like creative was like, yeah, we don't know why he's involved, but we're just gonna play into it, like we don't know why he's involved. So because like
Yeah.
there is really again no explanation as far as why he's involved with it. Obviously, he ran into Paul Heyman backstage, so like you're just gonna owe me a large favor, which again,
Which also makes no sense because I don't know what Paul Heyman has that he possibly give Gunther. Like, it's not like Braun or Bronson have like the title, the heavyweight title. So it's like, that made
yeah.
no sense. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
So it
maybe he
literally
wants to be tag team champion. Maybe they're gonna bring back Ludwig and they're gonna get back Imperium.
or with what are those Americanos there? So yeah, they obviously play into that a little bit. Because it feels like creative doesn't really know why he's involved, and they were like, yeah, we don't know why either, so we'll play into it and kind of just hopefully play along, and hopefully we can throw a dart and hopefully it can stick somewhere. Uh Other things involved here. We finally got another match announced for WrestleMania. That being, speaking of celebrities, that being ISO Speed and the Vision going against the Usos and LA Knight. That has been confirmed there for a match, which I know again we talked about celebrities, but when celebrities are involved and then it's not like a heavy big feud, but it could be comedic, it could be funny. Obviously, WrestleMania is known. Obviously, if you even go back to watching WrestleMania 1, like it's known for its celebrities. But when you can have a
Yep.
good celebrity involvement, like it can be good. So like I'm a fan of the ISO Speed stuff. I thought when LA Knight
Yeah.
last week crashed his stream yesterday, or
Stream.
not yesterday, last week. Last week, I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty funny. So yeah, when you can have like a funny, like little comedic, celebrity involvement, I don't know how much in-ring work the ISO Speed is going to get or have. I know he did some crazy. I honestly haven't gone and seen it. I know he has like a videos or like a series of videos of Randy Orton where he's training and like Randy Orton gave him praise.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty good. I
I
saw it.
haven't seen it yet personally.
Yeah.
So I know he obviously puts in the work. Obviously, if you go back and watch last year's Royal Rumble, he has his very famous Braun Breaker spot. So I mean, when celebrities are involved in a less main event type thing, like when you're not a Travis Scott, Jelly Roll, or now Pat McAfee, it could be for some good television. So I'm actually kind of excited to see where that goes, especially that this whole Danhausen curse is definitely playing into ISO Speed being involved in this in some sort of fashion. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. I don't think unless I missed anything potentially. I know obviously we talked about Rey Mysterio being involved. That was a solid 6-man tag before that was announced there. Really, really good match as well. But yeah, overall, really good Monday Night Raw. Obviously, was started off there with the promo by CM Punk there. I don't know if I missed anything there, but yeah,
Yeah, I
overall,
think
really,
we
really
pretty
solid.
much we nailed everything. We had the Oscar promo too that was kind of like right before the tag team match with Rio. Which I would hope this means that they're gonna duke it out at WrestleMania, Io and Asuka, because if they for some reason leave that off the card, that'd be very disappointing to leave Io off the WrestleMania card. So that's why I'm like, well, announce match tomorrow. Does that mean it's gonna be like final? That's it. But I hope that's not the case because you're still missing like Io Asuka. And I know there's also like rumblings and we might get Jewel and Tiff for the US title at WrestleMania. So that remains to be seen. But yeah, I think for the most part, we pretty much hit every Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the Tiffany thing. I know those are rumblings going on. Like that's gonna be on Friday now or something like that. I could be wrong.
They always do that shit too, where they do like one big match like the
Yeah.
night before WrestleMania. Yeah, they could hit. Like for the longest time, I thought like going back to Friday, I thought the Wyatts and MFTs were gonna duke it out at WrestleMania too, and that obviously is
Yeah.
not the case because that feud is over. Yeah, I thought that was gonna end at WrestleMania, but guess not.
Yeah, I've heard to mention that very
Which while
lackluster.
I saw a thing on I saw this thing on Twitter for how long Solo's been on the main roster. He has yet to wrestle on WrestleMania. I'm like, dude, that is crazy. He's been on the main roster for like what 3-4 years already, and he hasn't. He was part of the third of 40, but he hasn't actually wrestled on WrestleMania.
What the hell did he do last year? He
Pretty
didn't
good.
do anything last year.
No, I don't think he did.
Oh no, because Jacob was fighting for the U.S. title. He beat LA Knight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damn, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's
And
crazy
then
to think
the
about it
and then
now.
the year before that, he was part of the Bloodline Rules. He interfered, and then the year before that, he spiked Cody at
He spiked
39.
Cody.
Yeah, so be like the fourth time this be his fourth WrestleMania, but he hasn't wrestled on the card. I thought that was crazy. I'm like, Jesus,
Yeah.
like,
Oh man, I didn't think
pretty
about
wild.
that. That's an interesting. Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, going back to
Yep.
there really quickly before we get into card talk. Yeah, a very lackluster ending. Like Tama just
Yeah,
gave Uncle
that
Hottie
was.
the lantern. Like that was it.
Yeah,
Kind of
not a
weird.
fan of it. It was kind of
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, I
So
think what they
I
feuded
don't
for
know
like
that.
what
I don't.
6 months.
Yeah, dude, that feud went on for fucking forever. Yeah, it went on for like
Started
about
in the
6 months.
summer. I think it started in the summer, right? Or late summer or in the fall. Yeah.
Yeah, like around there, like a little bit of like before like Halloween. Like I think Halloween. I think right when they won the time when they won the titles.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I thought it was gonna end at WrestleMania. I thought it was gonna be this whole grand, um, get to be at WrestleMania. You lantern. I thought they were gonna have like a big old like street fight or some shit like that. Like all
Yeah.
four of them. Guess not. All right, here's
Tama
your lamp.
pissed off. Tama pissed off everybody backstage with posting that backstage clip and like, oh, you're scrapping your match at WrestleMania. You're not gonna get anywhere. You're gonna give it back to Lantern. You're gonna lose the feud. And that's it.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
Maybe that's
That's
what
gonna be
happened. I hope
rough.
that's not. Hopefully that's not the case. But I would
Yeah.
not surprise me one bit if that's literally what happened. But yeah,
Oof.
man, I didn't even think about that as far as uh, uh, of Solo not being on the card here. So yeah, I don't know. See where they go. See where the Wyatts go from here too. Hopefully they get back in the title picture. They kind of
Yeah,
been
this
again.
is what scares me now. They're just gonna be out there in limbo because they really don't. There's no other faction for them to beef with. How they're gonna
Yeah,
be like, yeah, I don't know.
yeah. It wouldn't hurt for after WrestleMania is over to have like a roster shakeup. I think there's some faces that could definitely need a shakeup, and I think maybe a Raw maybe helps a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, I think there's definitely something that needs to happen with them moving forward. So hopefully it's not the end of the Wyatts there, and they're kind of just stuck in limbo doing main event matches and whatnot. But yeah, again, overall solid Monday Night Raw episode here. We got NXT tomorrow, obviously Friday Night SmackDown there as well. So next week here will be our full prediction episode of WrestleMania once we get all these matches announced here. So of course, if you guys are looking out for that, make sure you are subscribing and following. All of our links are in the description down below as well, wherever you're listening. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you're subscribing. Spotify and Apple, make sure you are following. But let's get into it now. Topps Chrome didn't feel like we were going to be here. When we were talking about this product a couple months ago when it got announced here, we were talking about how there's no way it's going to be announced. It's too quick. WrestleMania is just right around the corner. But Topps, we talked about Topps and their faults. We've obviously have talked about all the delays and things like that. But this just proves when they have an agenda and they need to get something going, they obviously could do it. So hopefully moving forward, this is a start to a second quarter, third quarter, fall, whatever, of Topps and the WWE license. Because yeah, this product, the FDI boxes, the hobbies, megas, it's coming very, very quickly. So yeah, I tip my cap out to the Topps team for doing everything here, getting it time for WrestleMania. I feel like having cards, as much as we just, I don't want to say we kind of shit on the WrestleMania season, but as exciting as WrestleMania can be and still is, in my opinion, having some new card releases that's not outdated, not expired, or whatever the case may be, it's very, very exciting. So I think what's leading here to this product here, because this is probably is one of Topps most up-to-date product, and we are very, very super excited for it here. So we've kind of broken it down previously in other episodes here, but we're going to break it down again because we finally have some clarity. We finally have everything here. We have a full base checklist along with insert checklists. We got parallels, we got boxes configuration, we have everything here. So we are going to be breaking it all down here. So 2026 Topps Chrome WWE. Again, if you guys are not aware, first day issue boxes are already going to be dropping. I know some people are getting their shipment dates. Some breakers are already loading up product for Wednesday. So if you are looking for first day issue boxes, make sure to go check out Fanatics Live and or whatnot. Those boxes are going to be made available. Megas and hobby boxes drop on April 10th, but that's going to be on Friday. And then value boxes officially drop on April 17th. Pre-orders have been coming like hit and miss on like other websites like Fanatics, WWE Shop, Amazon. So if you guys are trying to scoop up some boxes online, make sure to check out those retailers there. Make sure to have alerts for like other profiles because they'll be talking about it here when the drops there go live. So this is officially a 300 card base set. These are going to be all the box configurations here. So if you're looking to purchase any of these boxes here, this is what you can expect in a box. So in a hobby box here, you're going to be having 8 cards per pack FDI. You're also going to be having 8. When I say FDI, it's first day issue. Value box, you're going to have 4, megas 8, breakers 12. Packs per box, you're going to be looking at 12 for per hobby, 12 for the FDI, 7 in value boxes. Megas are going to be 6, and breakers are only going to have 1 pack in them. Boxes per case, if you like to roll like that, is 12 for hobby and FDI. Value is 40, megas is 20, and breakers are 6 boxes. What can you expect in each box there? Hobby box here, you can expect 2 autographs, 12 refractors, 12 inserts, and 4 numbered parallels. We'll go over that here in a little bit. First day issue box, you're going to get 2 exclusive 2 autographs here. One of them is going to be 1 FDI exclusive autograph, and they're going to get 2 FDI exclusive parallels. A value box here, you already get 3 diamond plate refractors, 1 base refractor, and 7 inserts. And then in a mega box here, you're going to get 10 X fractors, 1 numbered parallel. So you are guaranteed a numbered parallel, and you are going to be getting 6 inserts. Now, as far as the parallels, you're going to have your normal refractors. Magentas are going to be numbered out of 399. Teals are going to be out of 299. Yellows are going to be out of 275. Pinks are going to be 250s. Aquas are 199. Blue refractors are 150. Green refractors 99. Purples 75. Golds to 50. Orange to 25. Black refractors to 10. Reds to 5. And of course, you have your super refractors. Your hobby exclusive parallels are going to be your prism refractors, negative, sonar, steel cage refractor, and your frozen refractors, which are only going to be limited to 5 copies. And then to the delight parallels are going to be the same, except they're going to be geometric. So your blue is going to be numbered to 150, blue geometric, gold geometric number to 50, orange geometric to 25, purple geometric to 10, red geometric to 5, and black geometric to 2. Value box parallels, you're going to be having, again, like we just mentioned here, your diamond plate refractors, and then you're going to have your exclusive ray wave refractors. So your blue ray waves are numbered to 150, purple ray waves are numbered to 75, gold ray waves numbered to 50, orange ray wave to 25, black ray wave to 10, and red ray waves numbered red ray wave, say that freaking 3 times, numbered to 5. And then, of course, you have your mega box exclusive parallels, like we just talked about. You're going to have your X fractors. We are getting mini diamonds here, are going to be exclusive to the mega box. I know that's the product that we snagged a few of them here, and we're excited to get here, hopefully on Rip Day. We got pink mini diamond refractors number to 250, blues mini diamonds to 150, purple mini diamonds to 75, gold mini diamonds to 50, orange mini diamonds to 25, black mini diamonds to 10, and red mini diamonds there to 5. So a lot of parallels. So if you're looking to complete a rainbow, good freaking luck. That is a lot of parallels.
God bless you, freaking rainbow collectors for Topps Chrome, because that's just, man, that's hefty. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, and obviously, the more the merrier. As I would like to say, when it comes to parallels, it can definitely be very, very overwhelming. So although this information, guys, is coming from blowoutcards.com, I'll link it down in the show notes here in the description. So if you guys want to go and check this out for yourself, you are more than welcome to do so. And they also have where the checklist here. Now, I think I failed to mention here is, as far as the Topps Chrome, there is going to be 2 other editions. There is going to be a Sapphire edition and a Logo Fractor edition. I failed to mention that here when I was discussing it here. We're not going to talk about those right now because those haven't been announced. We know the checklist, we know the parallels, but we don't know a release date. So I feel like it's kind of, I don't want to say non-existent to talk about it right now, but it just doesn't make sense to talk about it because we're not going to be ripping it on Friday or joining to breaks on Friday. It's primarily going to be FDI and the normal hobby boxes. So if you guys are trying to look for that information, make sure to follow and subscribe, because we are going to be talking about it here once we do get official release dates here. And we'll be talking about those because we're briefly looking to the checklist here. There are some names that have autos and logo fractor that don't have autos in Topps Chrome and or FDI, which that's going to be very important. There's going to be some exclusive parallels and inserts in Sapphire that were not in last year's and or in Topps Chrome. That's going to be very important that we do talk about. So those were all the base structure, parallels, and boxing configuration. I know I get a lot of people asking like, what's the difference between value megas? That's the case here. How many megas did you snag, by the way? Did you get? You have two?
I just got one so far.
One? You got one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a blaster on pre-order too, because that's all I've gotten so far. I try not to. I like to try to find my stuff local. I just hate waiting for stuff in the mail. It just drives me freaking crazy. So it's gonna be one of those things where hopefully I can get out there. Well, yeah, look for a mega box. Because even the wifey, the other day, she was like, dude, I'm into wrestling. So I was like, say less, man. I'll go out there. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go out and hunt and hopefully track down a mega box. The fact that there's so many like parallels and stuff like that. I hope this means that there's a large print run off the back. That means the shelves will be stocked. Because Universe was we thought was going to be out a lot, and it kind of had a little bit of a hard time finding it. I know you anticipate restocks of Universe, but hopefully in this case that we can find some mega boxes out in the wild, and the following week hopefully find some blasters. Which I thought it was so weird that they're doing the blasters a week later. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, a little bit weird.
I don't know if that's common. Yeah. I don't think so. Usually, actually, now that I think about it, like if I think about it in baseball terms, like usually the blaster comes first, and then a couple weeks later you get your megas. So I don't know if they're just reversing the roles. I don't know. It makes no sense, but yeah, I'm excited to since in. The inserts are looking really, really good. I know when we saw the checklist, I'm probably getting to it here shortly of who we're buying, but like for our PC side, like I discovered that Lyra's gonna have a GPK, garbage pail kid in case hit, which I think we confirmed that those are gonna be considered case hits, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay. So that is gonna be very scary, very expensive. Yeah, so I'm excited, but my wallet is not excited. So
yes, GPKs here are confirmed as a case hit. Not exclusive to anything there. So from my understanding and from what we've seen confirmed, so if you're ripping hobbies, blasters, FDIs, whatever, breaker delights, whatever you're trying to get into, GPKs are going to be available in all those formats. Because yes, we're going to go over here some of the inserts here that officially we got confirmed. So we have alternate persona image variations, which are going to be only hobby only. So if you're like Moon, what the hell is an alternate persona image variation? Basically, these are going to be, personas that these superstars had before they became what they known as. So, for example, The Rock is now going to be Rocky Maivia. Me and Mark Callis, that is the Undertaker. The Demon Finn Balor, that's a little bit kind of condescending what I just said, but the Demon Finn Balor. Justin Hawk Bradshaw, Walter as Gunther, Mr. America as Hulk Hogan, Vinny Vegas, which was Kevin Nash. There are some names in here. I'm gonna be completely honest. I had to look up who the hell is Vinny Vegas. That was Hulk Hogan. I mean, not Hulk Hogan, was Kevin Nash, Diesel. There's Stardust as El Grande Americano. There's Roman Leakey. There's the Zodiac. There's K Quick, who that was R-Truth. So if you're buying into spots, I would highly look into that. Make sure either the persona is listed with that superstar, or make sure you ask your breaker, like, hey, is K Quick in the K spot? Because if you buy R-Truth, you may be expecting K Quick. So I would make sure you do clarify that with your breaker and clarify that with the checklist. Just because you want to make sure. So if you're an R-Truth collector and you want a K Quick card, if you buy R-Truth, you may not get the K Quick card, because technically K in a letter break or in all other spots technically is considered for K. So just make sure you do clarify that in your breaks. You do want to make sure you do get that clarified. So just some, I would say a little bit out for you guys if you're joining me into any breaks there. Next, going on here, we have iconic imprint image variations. That is going to be hobby only. We then got scope, which are going to be in hobby, breaker, and FDI. We then got Viral Shock, again, hobby, breaker, and FDI. We then have the women's division, hobby, breaker, FDI. We then got Austin 316. Those are going to be hobby and FDI only. We have the Rock Diamond Legacy, hobby, FDI only. Platinum Punk, which is a CM Punk base insert. That's hobby and FDI. The Family Tree, that's hobby and FDI. Embedded hobby FDI. Here's one for the retail folks. We got WrestleMania Recall. Those are going to be retail only. Eras of Excellence. That's only going to be retail only. Focus Reel is retail only.
Card.
Yeah, there is your Mr. Fuji, everybody. Focus Reel is retail only. Signals is going to be available in all inserts. I don't know if you saw this. What the hell is GAMUT? How do you say that? Gamut?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's like an acronym for something, and it's just, yeah.
Like, am I missing something? I've been trying to figure that out all week. I'm like, there's big names in here. It's not just like a random ass like insert. Like Cena's in here.
Yeah, you got Cody, Drew,
Punk, Gronk,
Liv Morgan, Pence in here. Yeah, I do not know.
Yeah, so it's not like a random like insert. So I was like, I don't know what the heck that means.
Have you tried on eBay? There's like any other like products that have that?
Oh no, I didn't bother doing that. So as Bropio does that there, we then got House of Cards. That's hobby and FDI only. Helix, which is the case hit here, that's going to be in all formats. Let's Go, all formats. Feel the Pop, which those are very, very short printed. People kind of sleep on those a little bit. Those are like harder to hit. They were hard to hit in 2025 Topps Chrome. That's going to be hobby and FDI, like we just talked about here. GPK, which are the Garbage Pail Kids. That is going to be for all formats here. We do got some other like autographs variations here that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, those are all the inserts there. Bro, if you got any info there on what the heck a GAMUT is?
That's negative. This may be the first time Topps does a gamut card. So
yeah, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm missing something, and I just don't know.
It could be an acronym like for like GPK, which is Garbage Pail Kids. It could stand for something, and Lord only knows what it's for. Greatest among, I don't know.
Greatest among marks.
Greatest among multi-universe titles.
Universal
titles. There you go. Your gamuts.
There he is. There is the gamut there. So yeah, again, we'll get some clarification here before that. But yeah, again, maybe we're missing something, but yeah, there's just something there that I'm like, I don't know what the hell that means. And we did again last episode or 2 weeks ago, whenever we talked about the brief introduction there of Topps Chrome, we did get indication here that the main roster debut patches were going to be in Topps Chrome, and that is officially confirmed. A little bit weird, not gonna lie, because there's only 5 superstars here that are confirmed here for the Raw and SmackDown debut patches. That being Sonny Vakur, Sol Ruca, Roxanne Perez, JC Mateo, and Julia. So a little bit weird, especially considering that Ruca debuted together and they're not.
Once again, Sol Ruca has left behind Zarya.
So yeah, once I saw that, I was like, it's a little bit weird that how she doesn't have a patch, considering that again they debuted together. Some other notable names that I know, we're missing is Mr. Iguana. He is not in spoiler alert. He is not in this set, so that's why he's not listed here in the debut patches. But yeah, these 6 superstars do have their own official one-of-one SmackDown and Raw debut patches. So those spots there for those 6 individuals are probably going to be highly, highly inflated. So do keep that in mind there if you are going to be buying into breaks as far as that. Like we mentioned here, this is a pretty big base set. This is a 300 card base set. So there's a lot of superstars, but like I mentioned here,
301 actually.
301, yes. 301. Excuse me. Yes, 301 at the 301 card base set here. And with that,
say his name and he appears.
And with that, that is the introduction of Joe Hendry. So Joe Hendry here will have his first official rookie card in Topps Chrome WWE. He is card 301. He has a lot of stuff in here. He has his own insert. He has his own autograph. So there is a lot of Joe Hendry stuff in here. Obviously, this is not Joe Hendry's first time appearing in a Topps card. He has his Randy Orton Topps Now card, which he's not. He's listed in there, and he's in the background taking an RKO. But that's obviously not his card, so there's no RC badge on that. Uh, but yes, 301 base set here. Joe Hendry officially making his official WWE card debut with the RC badge. So you will have a RC stamp along with a lot of other good names in here. Dark State, the whole Dark State crew has official, so like Osiris Griffin, Cutler James, Chigon Sugars, they have official RC badges in here. Tyra May Steele, which I'm, as much as we'd like to talk about NXT, I was never really a big fan of her. She's in this set and does have an RC badge. We talked about her earlier. Lainey Reed, which we talked about before the episode, or before like a couple weeks ago, we're kind of talking about like, is she going to be in here? Did she make the cut? Lainey Reed is officially making her official Topps debut, and we'll have official RC badges in the set as well. Tala Tonga is also going to have official rookie card in here as well. No debut patches. I'm saying really, really weird that he's in the set but doesn't have a debut patch. I think he had one, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's very, very weird here. As far as of the, again, dating back there to the debut patches. Again, like I mentioned here, arguably one of the most up-to-date sets here as far as the names. Obviously, we were talked about her in Finest. Well, you specifically talked about her in Finest. Kendall Gray is officially making her way back into Topps products here. She does have official cards here. No RC badge, which is, I don't want to say surprising, but I would say kind of surprising, just because, you know, if you want to consider her rookie year, that is considered 25, but sometimes we see some weird things in baseball where it can carry through to 26. So a little bit weird that she doesn't have the official RC badge. So if you're an RC collector, or like, you know, or specifically just like want to collect their first rookie card, it is only going to be in the Topps Finest and Topps Now. So if you're into all that, that is something to keep an eye out there as far as of that when it comes to Kendall Gray. I know she's been making obviously a lot of waves down in NXT, like we've talked about, and obviously has been making a lot of waves here in the trading card market. Other names here that are back, obviously we talked about her, AJ Lee. AJ Lee is officially back here in Topps Chrome. We'll talk about the autos in a little bit here, but spoiler alert, she has no autos. So if you are an AJ Lee fan or collector, and we're hoping to collect her autograph here, she unfortunately does not have any autos in Topps Chrome. So that is something to keep an eye out there. We talked about him. Well, you specifically talked about him earlier. Brock Lesnar is officially back here in the set. So if you are a Brock Lesnar collector, or are a collector, or are looking to collect Brock Lesnar here, he is officially back here in this set as well. Don't know if I missed any specific names. There are a few names in here that are still in here that are no longer with the company. Like the first one that jumped out of my head was Wesley. I know that was one name for sure that I saw in here that he's still in here, no longer with the company. One name I obviously just failed to mention here, Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe is officially making her way to Topps Chrome. Not the RC badge. I know we were in a stream the other day and somebody asking why Blake Monroe doesn't have the RC badge. That's obviously because of her Mariah May cards in AEW. It goes by the likeness, doesn't go by the name, unfortunately. I wish it was vice versa, but it does go by likeness. So that's why Mariah May or Blake Monroe does not have an RC badge. So if you're looking for that, unfortunately, you're not going to get that here in this product. Other release names here that I quickly saw was like Stevie Turner still in here. She just got released a couple of weeks ago, or like about a month ago. So it makes sense here. Ridge Holland is still in here. So there is still a few names in here that are no longer with the company that are trickling their way into the set. But yeah, overall, again, one of the Topps most up-to-date set here. Really, really excited for as far as when it just comes to the base checklist, because it is loaded with superstars when it comes to NXT legends and current superstars who are on the Raw and SmackDown brands. I don't know if I missed anybody there particularly that you have I saw that I may have skimmed over, but any name there before we get into our buying, maybe who we're watching, not really going to buy, and of course not we're buying, that you specifically saw like, oh damn, like they're in here.
No, I think for the most part you kind of touched on everything. I know there are some pretty cool dual autos. Like I know that probably there's Julia Stephanie McCare dual auto. I think I saw there's a Roxina dual auto, so I can't imagine the chase on those. Which be careful when you do these breaks if you don't grab both wrestlers or stuff like that. It can get tricky and stuff like so. Just be careful. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this. It's a lot of it's a like you said, it's a most updated set that we're gonna get, and yeah, I'm stoked for it. So
yeah, which then leads to here where should we kick off here? Are we? Let's off on a good note here. Who are we buying? Obviously, there you hinted it there. Obviously, you being the Lyra Valkyrie collector here, obviously chasing your Lady Bird Lyra GPK here. So we know that's obviously one of the PCs there. Obviously, if you guys have been following the content, you guys know that you and I both collect CM Punk. So that's one of the more like obvious fun. Obviously, those spots for both Punk is going to be highly inflated because he has so many different inserts. He has like the best in the world inserts. There's a lot of different cards for him. So obviously that spot's a little bit going to be a little bit inflated. So time will tell how that does with that. Obviously here as well, buying some Brent Sinclair spots as well for the PC. But is there a name out there particularly you're looking at as far as of like that's a sneaky play? Maybe we should be buying this one. Maybe now a lot of people are talking about it right now, but I feel like maybe their cards could do something here long term. I know some breaks have already been posted over on Fanatics Live. So has there been some spots or something that you're seeing both price wise and insert wise as far as what they have? They're like, all right, I think that's a pretty good buy.
I mean, yeah, right off the rip, Lady Reed. I mean, her rookie card's in there. She does have auto, so you're gonna get her debut auto, rookie card auto, and stuff like that. She's making waves down on NXT. I know, like when she's wrestling Kendall, like just a few matches that they had, they just seem to mesh and gel so well together. Yeah, that's definitely one that I'm looking into. Also kind of want to start digging into a little bit of JC Jane's market. I think like right now it's probably like her high point. I know like right now, like some of her autos are going for like the $50 range. So I think her market can still has the potential to go a little bit higher, especially if she does indeed get this call up that we're talking about. I'm also chasing like the GPKs. Like I want to collect some of the GPKs. So like I'm looking into like Penta. We talked about Lyra and stuff like that. I've been on the fence about it just because he's so expensive. I want to start collecting a little bit of Penta, especially since the little daughter, she likes Penta a lot. So I would really like to just start picking up like Pentas here and there at a reasonable price. He's just very expensive and rightly so. Should be. He's a very popular superstar. One name that I always wanted to collect, but he's also a little bit more expensive side, and I don't know why I don't collect him. He's from our hometown, but Shawn Michaels did. Like every time I watch a break, I feel like he's getting pulled, and I'm like, dude, why don't I just like just finally pull the trigger and collect Shawn Michaels and like just pull some autos? So honestly, I'm looking into Shawn Michaels. I'm also it's not like officially confirmed, but the MVP buyback, the WrestleMania buyback, if they do indeed do it, and if it's like last year, you're looking at the Royal Rumble title winners as potentially being the buyback, being Steph Curry, Liv Morgan on the women's side, and then the men's side, it would be Roman Reigns and CM Punk. So off the back, those four names are all the big names, but I mean, if you can even snag just base cards of those guys, and whoever's the winner of their matches, if it does confirm, you can take those cards into your local card shop and trade it in for credit. Which I noticed on the checklist, they have the MVP buyback autos of Jay and Tiffany. I'm assuming it was from last year, so I don't know if they're gonna have like a little stamp on it, like the buyback stamp kind of on it.
Yeah, like like the old ones do, yeah, or like the old baseball
they
ones,
do
they'll
like
have like
archive,
yeah.
the archive signatures, all that and stuff like that. So, yeah, again, not confirmed yet, but if it is, or if you want to try to get a head start to maybe sneak in, like get cheaper prices, so that way when it does get announced, if it does, you already have a good stock. So that'd be something I'm gonna look out for. But yeah, man, those are my picks.
Yeah, all solid picks there. Yeah, I'm on the same fence as you. Laney Reed's an obvious buy. I was me again being like not hoping that everybody kind of knows. Like I always like to think like maybe I'm the only one who knows Alpha around here. Her spot has already been around like 40-ish bucks, which she only has two cards. She has her base and her auto. So
I mean, this is like exactly like the way it was for Kendo and Finest. Like at the beginning, Kendo Gray was like grouped up in the all other K spot, and then she started getting a lot of traction, and then all of a sudden now she's by herself and she's like $50 a spot and with only one card.
I was buying other K spots and Kendo Gray spots for like $5, and then by the
I
time
remember
I knew
you buying Kendo spots for like $10.
Yeah. Very,
Yeah.
very cheap. I was even grouping like whole Ren QCC as a group, like all of them. It was Tavion, Ren, Charlie, and
Yeah.
her like for like $15. That has obviously has gone long gone from here. Um,
Yeah.
because yeah, Lainey Rita's her spot itself has been like $40. Again, I was
Yeah. I
like,
saw
oh,
she's like
maybe
in
I
the
could,
40.
maybe I could find like a $10, $15 spot. But yeah, she's been trending around like the $40 spot here. Like I mentioned here, Ren Sinclair, that's one of my PCs there. Surprisingly by herself. Obviously, she's been making a lot more
Yeah.
waves now. NXT Speed
Is she
Champion.
fine? She signs in here, right? Is she signing?
Yes, she has her
Okay.
women's division insert, which that's going to be very fun. She has her base, and then she has the base card auto, so or base like image variation or something like that. So yeah, that's going to be fun to chase as well. Other names here that I'm taking a look at again, kind of sticking with what we were talking about earlier, like NXT. Ethan Page has quite a bit of cards in here as well, and he's been pretty cheap. He's like in the $15-$20 spot, and he's kind of been going the Kevin Owens route. I have yet to confirm like any inscriptions, but he's been having a lot of autograph
Mm.
inscriptions. And Exalted, he had All Ego. I saw that being pulled, and then he had our greatest North American champion inscription. So I mean, for like
Has his
15, 20
has that airport card inscription surfaced yet from Universe? No,
yet to
right?
be
Not that
pulled,
we
has
know
yet to
of.
be pulled that I'm aware of.
Mm.
So yeah, like Ethan Page, he
Yeah.
has the base card one autograph variation, and then he has the Future Stars autograph. So two different styles of autographs there, and an NXT autograph. So he has three different autographs here. So obviously here, if you're buying into breaks here, full case here, autographs being two per case, your opportunities there of looking for an Ethan Page there are there. So I really do like him a lot. I think he's kind of like him losing this past Friday, this past Saturday, him not winning the NXT Championship. Maybe that's a sign that they're like on the verge of calling him up potentially. I think he will do very, very well on the main roster. So time will tell with him. I know another name here that we briefly just threw out here, like we mentioned here, Joe Hendry, for it being his first time here in this set and in ever WWE cards here. He has quite a bit of cards here. So he has, let's take a look here. He has his
Even has
base
that.
card. That's
I don't know what it's gonna look like, but it says insert to say his autograph. So I'm like, that sounds
yeah.
pretty interesting.
Say his name
Yeah.
autograph here. He has the viral shock. He then has a Helix, which is a known case hit. He has his base card autograph, base two autograph variation auto, and then he has his say his name autograph. So a lot of autographs there for Joe Hendry. His spot has been anywhere from like, I think from what I've seen, like anywhere from $50 to $60. So quite a bit of cards there. Case hit potential. That's the name you want to keep an eye out for. Again, RC badge. And like you mentioned there, I don't think his time in NXT is going to be very long. I think he's one of like he's like a Danhausen. He's more of an in-ring character work than Danhausen. Obviously more gimmicky, things like that. But when he wrestles, a very talented wrestler here. So Joe Hendry is another name to keep an eye out there. As far as that, other names here, obviously Ricky Sand, I think he's on the verge of call up as well. Has quite a bit of autographs in here as well. So that's definitely another name here that I'm keeping an eye out here. As far as of breaks, obviously my main PC, that being CM Punk, really, especially after this promo, like I need that potty mouth CM Punk GPK. Like there's
Yeah.
I would hope. Obviously, they're going to go for some money. Obviously, like we talked about, the arcade hits. They're very, very popular. They were in past WWE sets that the whole 2019 set devoted to them, so they are very popular. Obviously, it's
I
CM
wish they
freaking
had
Punk.
I wish they had autos like the way they do in baseball for them, but they
Yeah,
don't. That's another thing that
yeah,
sucks is that there's no autos on it, but I mean they're still sick cars, man. They're gonna be a big chase for everybody. So I'm excited for them.
yeah, yeah. No, that whole GPK checklist, like whoever's in that checklist said that is not making for a bad buy. So like Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Bailey, Chelsea Green, Punk, Cody, Dom, Drew
Bailey's on here too.
McIntyre.
I miss Bailey then. Oh my
Bad
lord.
Girl Bailey. Bad Girl Bailey. That is
I
the
must have missed that. The
GPK.
wifey was telling me she wants to start a small like little PC of somebody, and she mentioned Bailey. So I was like, oh
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
her spots haven't been that expensive. I think I've been seeing her spot anywhere from like kind of like in the
She's
same
usually
Lyra.
hot. Usually, like in the beginning, like I remember when Universe, I remember seeing Bailey for like $25, and now she's like in the $40 range. So, yeah. So shout
Yeah,
out Bailey,
yeah.
shout out Lyra,
Yeah, so
shout them out.
they're in there. Drew McIntyre, Damage Damian Priest, Soaring Sky. That's gonna be a freaking fun one. Eel Sky. We have the John Cena, Jacob Fatu, Jay Uso, Jay Yeesh, Boogie Knight, LA Knight, Live It Up, that being Liv Morgan, Lady Bird Lyra, Disarm Her, Becky, shout out Adam Gelman, Pop Out Penta, Ripped Rhea, Reptilian Randy, Pop Roxanne, well, that's a funny one. Pop Roxanne, Pop Rocks, that's a good one. Roman Empire, Super Slice Seth, finally The Rock, and then of course we got Tiffany Time. So of course, that's a full GPK checklist. So any of those names there, maybe a little bit higher in price, just because of that chase. So do want to keep an eye out there, if you are going to be, looking into some potential spots for those GPKs, because not everybody obviously know every superstar does not have a GPK. But yeah, those are some of the names here that obviously I'm keeping an eye out for. Now, who's a name here that you're like on the fence? Like obviously, potentially a big name, obviously has a very big following. But what's a name that you're seeing like you're like, I potentially wouldn't be buying that spot?
Oh man, I really, I just, I usually try to like stay away from like random wheel like breaks where they get randomly assigned like your whatever. I mean, it could be a good way to like get in cheaper, but then you end up with like bad names. So I'm staying away from like a lot of the legends, like Hillbilly Jim, Earthquake. No disrespect to any of those guys. It's like
No disrespect, no disrespect.
yeah, no disrespect, man. They're really not moving the needle for me. But I mean, there's really other than that, like I don't have anybody that I want to stay away from. Like there's a lot of potential, like you mentioned, like and also like Javon Evans is probably gonna be a buy. Trick Williams, Obafemi, like all these guys that are slowly starting to get their call-ups. It's not bad, So yeah, really, like, other than like I said, like those legends that that don't really move the needle for you is kind of what I tend to stay away. So I'm not like you can find their spots for like $5 on some of the breaks. So staying away from those guys. Disrespect legends because they help pave the way. But yeah, a name I've been thinking about trying to sneak into. I know we got him a couple weeks ago, but Dragon Lee. I was talking about how we need more Dragon Lee on our TV, and I was looking right now, like he's in some breaks for like $20. Might be a interesting buy. And if he's anything like the way it was in Cactus Jack, that fool was coming out left and right in Cactus Jack. So,
yeah, that dude was signing here like left and right there. Inserts galore as well. Also has a very cool mask. Yeah. Oh yeah, 20 D is another good one. I know his spots have been going from anywhere from like 10 to 15. Kit Wilson potentially do want to keep an eye out there for that because Kit and Elton Prince do have a duel. So again, like you mentioned, I don't want to lose a Kit Wilson auto on that. Maybe there is a potential Kit Wilson 1/1 with Toxic written all over it. That'll be pretty sick. So yeah, that's something that you definitely want to keep an eye out there as far as that. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like,
I wonder if that's gonna be a redemption because I don't think Elton's been around to sign. Probably.
Oh yeah, more than likely for sure. It would definitely be a redemption. So yeah, more than likely for sure. I'm pretty sure like him, a lot of Kevin Owens autographs are probably gonna be a lot of redemptions. Rey Mysterio maybe as well. I know he was obviously out for a little bit. He had some redemptions in last couple of sets, or I think Finest and also I think Exalted. I think he had redemption. So something you want to keep an eye out there for that as well. But yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. Like, I really don't feel, and I think that's why I'm so excited for the set. Like, there is really not a bad buy. Like, whoever that you're collecting, like if you're collecting or trying to get into somebody like a NXT superstar, like you mentioned, Trick, Javon, Oba, those spots they're not that crazy high. Like Oba is going for like 50-60 bucks when I saw Trick is around like the 30-40 mark. Javon is like in the 25-30 mark. So prices have been pretty reasonable for that. And they have quite a bit of cards in here. I think I would say the only thing I would maybe say like it's on the fence potentially is AJ Lee. Just because she doesn't have any autographs. Doesn't have any autographs. So if you're an AJ Lee collector and want to get like an AJ Lee on-card auto, you definitely have to go back into some older sets. But she does not have any autographs. I know some breakers and some spots have been AJ Lee and CM Punk together. I think that's a really good deal. You'll probably be paying a little bit more.
Yeah, because they do have the family tree, right? Insert.
Yeah, they do have the family tree insert. So if you're like myself, like CM Punk, and my wife likes AJ Lee, wants to start a collection of AJ Lee, or she has a little bit of a collection of AJ Lee cards, like that's maybe the way to go. It's just again a little bit tougher because if you're looking for an auto spot, she does not have it. And her spots individually have been going for like $40 here, primarily just paying for some base cards, some inserts, some color. I think she has a case in here as well. So that's something you just want to keep an eye out there for. If you're chasing AJ Lee cards, little also disappointing. Again, I know we kind of talked about it as far as like buying Blake Monroe as well. Guys, please, her exalted spots were going for like $100. If you're paying lower than that, that is a deal because she does have her autograph. She only has two cards. She has her base card or an NXT future card. Would it have been nice to see a women's division card? Yes. But guys, please be smart on that. Like, do not be spending. I personally would not be buying her spot for like $100. I know she had a couple of spots I've been seeing anywhere from like 55, $60. That's reasonable. But if you're paying above that, please be smart with your fund. That would be like the smart play. I know obviously she has a very hype following. Everybody knows why, rising star on WWE, things like that. Probably going to be a main roster call up pretty soon. But please be smart with that as well. But yeah, I really don't think there's like a bad buy in here. If you collect somebody that you collect,
Yeah.
like, your spots are going to be very reasonable. I haven't seen anything crazy. And I'm pretty sure it's due to the product being going to be, I would hope, and I think it's going to be very accessible. It's a very large set. There's going to be breakers galore for this. WrestleMania is coming up. I don't think Topps does not want this product being ripped. So again, if you like, ripping, things like that, maybe it might be a little bit tough, but there is not going to be a lack of breaks going on. So I would just, I understand if you don't like it, I get that 100%. But yeah, I think what we've talked about on this podcast and what we've been promoting for, the year that we've been doing this, like there has to be, you got to get creative with the way you get your fix. If you can't rip retail or you can't get your hands on product due to pricing and things like that, you have to get creative. And I think this is the way of evolving and things like that. Things evolve, especially with this hobby. So if you have somebody specific that you're looking for, I would highly advocate, when you're listening to this podcast, go Fanatics Live. Be careful on Whatnot. Whatnot is a free galore. It is a free frenzy over there. It's a wild west. No pun intended with the W. Because things just go freaking bananas over there. So if we're doing sudden death auctions, whatever, please be careful with that. I saw so many sudden death auctions for Exalted for prices that are going that should not have been going for what they were going for. So again, I would highly just advocate, please be smart, do your research, hopefully use this podcast as one of your resources. Again, all the information is going to be linked down below. So you want to go check this out for yourself, please feel free to go check it out for yourself. We love chatting cards with you guys. So, I people message me almost like daily now at this point, asking me like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I love talking with that. It does not bother me one bit. So if you guys just want to message me, tweet me at, Moon3PO over on X. You want to talk to Bropio? Bropio loves doing the same thing I love doing. So you want to talk to him there, you can talk to him at Dad Who Collects, Instagram, Twitter. We are available everywhere. We just love talking about all this stuff here. So, but yeah, I'm very excited for it. There is really no misses except for, like you mentioned, there's some of the legends there can be a little bit rough there. Imagine playing $400 plus for your autos there. One of your autos there is a is a Coco Beware or a Jerry Sags. Imagine those two being your autos there. No disrespect to Jerry Sags and Coco Beware, but may not be
Coco Beware, yeah.
May not be one of your better looking autos there. But yeah, I feel like we covered everything here. Again, product officially drops FDI on Wednesday. Product officially drops on Friday. If anything else crazy happens, obviously these episodes are already going to be out. We will be doing some short form content. Maybe we even do a live stream potentially. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe do that as well. That would be kind of fun. I did it for Exalted. I was just like watching a breaker just open up some boxes. Maybe we can watch my break being ripped open live if it's during the night. That's something potentially we can look at. But yeah, I feel like we covered majority of everything here. I don't know if there's anything that I missed specifically with Topps Chrome. I feel like we covered everything. Again, I know we talked about logo Fracture Sapphire. Not going to talk about that right now until we get like official confirmation. But yeah, I feel like we covered most of our bases here when it comes to Topps Chrome.
Yeah, I mean, for as big the set is, I think we nailed it. I think we nailed it pretty good. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to get into the rip-in, and hopefully Chrome is a lot more nicer to me than Universe was, because man, Universe was just absolutely brutal break-wise for me. Just did not have any luck whatsoever in it. So hopefully we can turn around with Chrome. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's our time to turn around. Had some luck with Finest, struck out on Cactus Jack. Universe was pretty bad to me. Exalted, we only bought it to one break, and we did okay. It wasn't anything like crazy
Yeah.
or spectacular. But yeah, hopefully this is it. Hopefully Chrome is our set. It's Topps freaking Chrome. There's a lot of hype around Topps Chrome. It's one of the more beloved brands and sets. That's why there's so much hype around it. But yeah, again, that was our full breakdown of Topps Chrome. If you guys I still want to carry over the conversation again, make sure to follow us over all of our socials. Link down below. But before I wrap everything up officially here, Bro Pio, any final thoughts here for the good old listeners of collecting the 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, man, I got nothing. No, this will be out Wednesday, so when this releases, FDI breaks will start hitting. I wouldn't be surprised if there's already breaks on whatnot, considering that they get their products like weeks before and then they just start ripping it out right away. So, yeah, have fun with your breaks. May the odds forever be in your favor. Bid safely if you are bidding on certain spots. But yeah, I mean, let's get this going. I'm ready.
Yep. Yeah, bid safely. Again, none of this was meant to be taken as financial advice, so please do your own research. Be smart with your funds. Be smart with your buying. Don't FOMO to anything here. Be very, very cautious
Yeah.
of what you're
Don't
doing.
don't come yell at me if they don't do WrestleMania buyback and you come up to me with like 100 CM Punk base cards.
uh, so yeah, don't FOMO into anything. Be careful with your funds. Be smart. Know what you're buying. Know what you're looking at. And yeah, guys, have fun with it. It's a piece of cardboard, guys. It's nothing. Obviously, yes, there's a lot of value behind it. There's a lot of dollar signs that are behind it, but it's meant to be collected by the masses here. So have fun with it. Good luck on your rips. As far as the final thoughts here on my end, I'll probably have more of like details as far as of next week's episode. That will be our official WrestleMania episode. So if you're looking for that,
Oh
make sure you
yeah.
follow. I will be out next week, obviously, because I will be at WrestleMania. I will be officially flying out on Thursday. So again,
Yes, that's another thing I haven't had an address. I know the people have been asking me. They were, hey, are you gonna be at WrestleMania? I'm not gonna be at WrestleMania.
it's confirmed. Bropio would not be at WrestleMania.
I hear the chatter. They're like, "Man, is Bropio, is Dadhausen gonna be there?" I am not gonna be
Bropio,
there.
Dadhausen gonna be linking up with Moog. Their other brother gonna be linking up like the Hardy Boys at World. It's confirmed. Bropio will not
be going to WrestleMania.
He would not be at WrestleMania here. Official graphic here right now. Bropio will not be at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, could not make it. But he will be there in spirit for sure. But yeah, I will be showcasing here and supporting here and what's the word? Promoting the Collecting the 1, 2, 3 brand here at WrestleMania. I will be getting it on Thursday. Friday I will be at WWE World. I think the only world only open up for like 9 to 4. So I'm probably gonna be there. I'm trying to be there the whole day if I can. Maybe a House of Glory on Friday, and then Saturday I will be there for night 1, and then after that I'm cutting my ties. So again, I will have more like sample approval by next week. I'll obviously have all my itinerary planned out. So if you guys are in the area, want to come say hi, feel free to say hi. I've met a few of you out here in my area. So the fact that I'm gonna be involved with a lot more, I'm pretty sure like there's gonna be a lot of other crazy content creators there, walking the streets of the Strip. And I've never been to Vegas. I really don't know what to expect. I know I heard it's all hell's glory over there, kind of like a wild, wild west. So I'm very, very excited, very nervous for it as well. Again, I've never been there, so I'm curious to see how it goes.
I've been there, I think like three times. Me and the wife have been there to Vegas. Yeah, you can get lost in the lights, man. So it's a fun time, but you can easily get lost into like the city vibes and stuff like that. So, but nah, y'all are gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. So
it's gonna be fun just because everybody's gonna be like wrestling related. So
yeah, it's gonna just be wrestling galore there. So yeah, again, if you're in the area, want to come say hi, maybe make a quick little video or something, I'll be in the area. Feel free to message me again at Moon3PO. I'm gonna be obviously recording a lot of content over there for myself and for obviously for our brand. So if you guys again are looking for that, make sure you are following and subscribing. And yeah, again, I'll have more confirmation on that next week. Just of course, just wanted to give a little bit of a little touchy dudes here as far as get the people ready as far as what's coming in the next couple of weeks here, or actually like not next couple of weeks, next week I should say.
Next week.
But yeah, guys, that is gonna be it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Good luck on your breaks. May all the hits be in your favor, and we will see y'all on the next one.